you will find a lot of closed doors when you're an immigrant. Behind those doors, there are opportunities, there's success. How do you open them? Language is the first key. My name is Khadija, a linguist immigrant in Sweden, and I'm here to help you learn Swedish and integrate yourself into the Swedish society. When do you use en and when do you use ett? Is what every Swedish learner has asked at some point, just like this person in a Swedish group on Facebook. As you can see, everyone in the thread is answering that there are no rules and that you have to remember each noun together with the article. This is a typical answer you get from your SFE teachers, and then students simply repeat what the teachers told them. However, true learning and development comes when you start taking your teacher's words with a grain of salt and when you go ahead and explore things on your own. That's exactly what I did when my SFE teachers told me there were no rules. And guess what? There are plenty of rules. And learning those rules made my life easier instantly. And today, I'm going to share those rules with you. En is used for nouns denoting animate beings, starting with people. Number 1. Nouns such as en människa, a human being, and medmänniska, a fellow human being, which was the favorite word of the Prime Minister Stefan Löfven when the corona pandemic broke out. En person, a person. Exceptions are ett kid or ett barn. These nouns use article ett, as you can see. Now let us go even deeper into nouns denoting people. Number 2 here is professions. You always use article en. For instance, en lärare, a teacher, en skribent, a writer, en servitör, a waiter, and so on. An exception is ett biträde, an assistant. The third one in the category of people is nationality. For instance, en svensk, en svenska, a Swede, en georgier, en georgiska, a Georgian. Note that you use different endings depending on whether the person is male or female. Then we have nouns denoting kinship. For instance, en kusin, a cousin, en mormor, a maternal grandmother, en bror, a brother, en fru, a wife, and so on. An exception here is ett syskon, a sibling. Other animate beings that use article en include animals. For instance, en björn, a bear, en räv, a fox, en hund, a dog, en häst, a horse, en varg, a wolf, en elefant, an elephant, and so on. Exceptions include the noun animal itself, ett djur, with ett, and then certain animals including ett lejon, a lion, ett rådjur, a roe deer, ett får, a sheep, ett lamm, a lamb, ett svin, a pig. Then birds, en svala, a swallow, en örn, an eagle, en uggla, an owl, en höna, a hen, en kyckling, a chicken, en duva, a dove, and so on with article en. Then we have insects, en fluga, a fly, en gräshoppa, a grasshopper, en nyckelpiga, a ladybug, en spindel, a spider, en fjäril, a butterfly, en mygga, a mosquito, en humla, a bumblebee, and so on. An exception here is ett bee, a bee. And the last one in the category of animate beings, reptiles. En orm, a snake, en ödla, a lizard, en sköldpadda, a turtle, en krokodil, a crocodile. All with article en. Even plants and trees use article en. For instance, en ros, a rose, en cactus, a cactus, en tulpan, a tulip, or trees, en björk, a birch, en tall, a pine. An exception in the category of trees is the noun tree itself, ett träd, with ett. Then we have certain endings of the nouns. These include nouns ending with ad, for instance, en promenad, a walk, en ambassad, an embassy. The nouns ending with are, en hamburgare, a hamburger, en läkare, a doctor. Nouns ending with dom, en barndom, childhood, en fattigdom, poverty. Else, en händelse, an event. En upplevelse, an experience, that is something that you have gone through. An exception ending with else is fängelse, with article ett fängelse. Then we have nouns ending with het, en trohet, loyalty, en allmänhet, the public. Nouns ending with ing, en tidning, a newspaper, en anledning, a reason. Nouns ending with ion, en station, a station, en administration, an administration. Nouns ending with lek, en kärlek, love, and storlek, a size. Now let's talk about rules for ett. You use ett when nouns end with certain suffixes. These are eum, for instance, ett museum, a museum, ett jubileum, a jubilee. Nouns ending with eum, for instance, ett delfinarium, a delphinarium, ett gymnasium, a gymnasium. Also endings such as ande and ente if you're talking about things other than people. For instance, with ande, you can have ett medvetande, consciousness, ett meddelande, a message. These are not people, right? And that's why you can have ett in these cases. With ende, you can have ett leende, a smile, ett påstående, a statement. But if you have a noun denoting a human being and it ends with, for instance, ande, you don't use article ett. You use en instead. For example, asylsökande means an asylum seeker. Obviously, an asylum seeker is usually a person, and because you usually mean a human being, when you use the word asylum seeker, you use article en asylsökande, even though it ends with ande. One small trick at the end is that if you're given a noun in the definite form, for instance, you have boken, människan, or huset, or äpplet, the ending shows you the article. If the noun in the definite form ends with en, then it uses article en. Very simple, but maybe something you haven't really paid attention to. To summarize, as this review has showed you, not only do we have certain rules that can make your life a lot easier when learning Swedish, most nouns use article en. Language teachers like to say that around 80% of Swedish nouns use article en, and the remaining 20% use article ett. This means that if you're unsure about which article you should use, and you realize that the noun doesn't follow any of the rules that I taught you today in this video lesson, then always go for en. The chances that you will guess right are higher in that case. That was all for today. I hope that this was really helpful for you because it helped me when I was learning Swedish and I was confused about which one to use, en or ett. I'll see you in the next module.